Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be some recent pickups I've got on 4K and Blu-ray. First up is Silent Rage with Chuck Norris. This is in the 2 for £15 sale, and I've been waiting for this one to come down for a long time. When I saw this one was out, and I've heard some great things about this. Obviously, Chuck Norris has got one of the best action films ever in Invasion USA, which I will be picking up from Vinegar Syndrome, hopefully in the next couple of months. And this one was talked about in the same light. I don't think it'll be anywhere as good as Invasion USA, which is absolutely crazy. I urge anybody to get onto that if you haven't seen it already. I do feel that Chuck Norris's action films are quite cheesy, but cheesy in a good way, in a fun way, in a way that you can enjoy. You can kind of laugh at it, but also have a great time with it as well. Chuck Norris always plays this immovable force type of character, which I really enjoy. And when I put this one on, I was expecting the quality, there's not much extras on here, if any. And I was expecting the quality to look a little bit better, if I'm honest. It's got quite a lot of, it's quite sharp. It's got quite a lot of debris on the film as well, which you don't really see these days, especially when it's probably had a new remaster. But not taking anything away from it, because if it comes across a little bit grindhouse, then it adds to the pleasure of it in a way. Although if you were wanting to get a brand new 4K, you wouldn't imagine that to have that look unless you were watching Death Proof. But interested to see this one. I'm getting a few Chuck Norrises now, and I want to get them all watched and maybe a Chuck Norris festival. So that's Silent Rage. So the other film I got in the 2 for £15 sale at HMV is CJ7. This is one I've been after for a long time. This stars the amazing Stephen Chow. It's also directed by Stephen Chow. So this was a film that Stephen Chow made after Kung Fu Hustle, which is a completely different film to this one. This looks like a kid's film. It looks to do with somebody from outer space coming down in a spaceship. That's the bit I saw when I checked it out for the quality. And it's got an English dub on here if you want it that way. I do prefer the English dubs for these films, if I'm honest. If it hasn't got one, it doesn't matter. But I like the English dubs because sometimes they come across quite humorous in how they have the translation. But the special effects on here are the same as it has. It reminds me a lot of Shaolin Soccer. The special effects. There's a lot of stuff going on with football in this than the clip I looked at. Plus, as well, all the people that you can see in his other films, Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer, up to this point, are all in this film as well. So when I checked this out, I thought the picture quality was pretty good, and I'm really excited to see this because I've been after this for such a long time. I remember that when you couldn't get this in the UK, I was going to get this and import it, but I didn't get around to it, and it's been one I've been after for such a long time, and it's great to get it for £7.50. So that's CJ7. So the other day when I was in HMV buying those two films, I bumped into my good friend Sammy G. He didn't see us, so I went up behind him and says, "Can you come with me, please?" I think I gave him quite a fright. So I've said to him afterwards, I said, "Sorry about that, mate. I just couldn't resist it." So when he was there, he said to us, "Have you seen this film before?" And I said, "I haven't, but I've been wanting to see it for a long time." He says, "Well, do you want it?" So he passed across to me the Blu-ray of LA Confidential. This is a film that I've heard about, of course. It's a well-known film, and I wanted to see it for a long time, just never got around to it. Some of these films pass you by, a bit like American Beauty as well. Also, it's got Russell Crowe in it, which I didn't know about, and he looks really young and thin. So this will be a good watch, and I want to thank Sammy G once again for thinking of me and passing this across to me. And also, I'll leave a link down to his channel down below. Please get across and check out his videos because they're absolutely brilliant. So once again, thanks, Sam. I can't wait to watch this one. Cheers, mate. And remember, if there's someone coming behind you saying, "Can you come with me, please?" It'll be me. Next up, and with a big thank you to my good friend Steve Court for alerting me to this. I didn't have no idea this was coming out. I got Contraband. This is the Lucio Fulci film that was like a mafiosi film. So this film came out in 1980, and it was sandwiched between Zombie Flesh Eaters. A big thank you to my good friend Michael Witchy for supplying me with this. Absolutely brilliant. And City of the Living Dead. Now, does that not say a lot for it? Yeah, this film is one that should be seen. If you're a Lucio Fulci film, it's not a horror film at all, but if you're a fan of Lucio Fulci or a fan of his gore, do check out this film. Now, I had this previously on DVD, and I want to thank my good friend Ken Sparnan for passing it across to me. Remember when you see on shelf one, you see all of the shameless ones lined up there, and I want to thank Ken once again for doing that. That is amazing. And this one here is the DVD version. It's got this amazing lenticular slip on, if I can show you that. If you can see it here. And this is such such an amazing lenticular slip. The thing I like about Shameless is the fact that they put these things on the covers, and they would have upset the censors back in the day. And that is a bit of a throwback to what you couldn't put on covers, or you would get them banned. We all know about that. But that's an absolutely brilliant cover. Now, funny enough, I did check out the quality of this one, and the quality on this DVD is pretty good. Contraband was put out in the US and Blu-ray, I think, by Cauldron, and Shameless have got it over here, which is brilliant. I want to bring out just for a minute the Psychic. This is the 1977 Blu-ray. Now, this is a 4K remastered Blu-ray, and this is the 4K remastered Blu-ray. This one looks absolutely sensational on this Blu-ray. In fact, you could think this was a 4K. It looks that good. Now, this one has had high hopes for this one, and it is better than a DVD. It's got some great colours in it. The sharpness is there. But for me, this 4K remaster is one of the lesser 4K remasters. Now, we've got to think about this film. This film is not a throwaway film, but it's one of those ones that wouldn't have had much care and attention back in the day. The fact that this is even here now is amazing. And the fact that these lesser known Lucio Fulci films are coming out in this fashion is brilliant. I'm all for it. I want more of this stuff. I do think that Shameless have the rights to get out a few more of these things. I know they've had them out in DVD before, a few of his later films. So I'm all for them going back, maybe hopefully remastering them and getting them all out, more like this. The picture quality, as I say, I thought was going to be a bit better, but it's not that bad considering. But if you think about it, where this sits in the filmography of Lucio Fulci, it fits in amongst all of his other, what I would consider his big four films. It's well worth a watch. If you're wanting to see something that's not a horror film, but it's got some really brutal elements into it, and there's some hyper violence in here. So this film, as with most of the new releases from Shameless, is a little bit expensive. I say this about £19.99. I do think when I got this, it was free P&P, but still, it's only a Blu-ray. It should be more like £15 for me. So if you see this one in a sale when this comes down to about £10.99 or £11.99, I would say snap this up, because if you want some Lucio Fulci gore that you're not aware of, it's a great story as well. It's got some hyper violence in it. This is well worth a watch. So that's Contraband. So last up, and I've had these releases for quite a while, is Jason Goes to Hell and also Jason X on 4K. These are one of the rare films, and also the remake, the Friday the 13th, the remake from 2009, you can watch as standalone films, I feel, which is good because I've just watched the whole of them all the way through to see which I had as a rankings. I'll put a link to that description in the description down below that video. And these were highly anticipated and such a shock as well. I know that a lot of people are talking about Freddy versus Jason coming out, and no spoiler alert, Freddy versus Jason is my least favorite out of the whole franchise. It's okay, but it's not as good as it could have been in my eyes, although I did quite enjoy it on my last watch. I think I had it at the bottom anyway. So when I saw these were coming out, it was a no-brainer to get these. Everything that comes out for 4K for Friday the 13th, I will be buying, even though I've got the amazing box set down there. I got it from my good friend. He helped me out. John Hall helped me out with that one. I can't thank John Hall enough for passing it across to me at a great price. So these here, and that would be getting kept because it's a great box set, and I do go back to it, and there's things in there that aren't available in any other releases. Mainly a lot of stuff to do with Friday the 13th Part 2. What I will do at the end of this video, I will rank all the ones that have been released on 4K, and I'll just tell you what I think of them. I'll go between these two. Sometimes I like Jason X a bit more. Sometimes I like Jason Goes to Hell a bit more. It just depends. Every year when I watch them, every time I watch them, I always rank them a little bit differently. But I realise now that I haven't there's not a bad one in there. Like I say, Friday versus Jason isn't my favourite one, but there's still elements that I really like. But I was so glad that these came out on 4K. Now it looks like, hopefully, that they might be starting to go and release some more of the Paramount ones, and I think they're going to be sporadic. And I just hope they do a great version of them, because they have been, up until now, they've been all the ones here in 4K are good in my eyes. Like I say, I'll do a bit of a ranking at the end of this. But I was so glad to pick these up, and I'm so glad that these are getting the treatment that they deserve. And it's so funny to see the lesser ones coming out before the big ones, even though the first two have come out in 4K. But for me, I really enjoy watching these ones. And the best thing about these two, even though I've just watched them recently, is the fact is I can now watch these again as standalone films, because this is Friday the 13th Part 9, this is Friday the 13th Part 10. And these are, I don't really want to have to watch them. I mean, I don't mind watching them, but I prefer to, I've just literally watched them a couple of months ago. But these ones here, I can watch this one as a standalone film, and also this one as a standalone film, and also the remake as a standalone film. So you don't have to watch them all in one go, which is what something I like doing. I do the next time I watch them, they will be all in one go. But these two I'm going to watch before that, because I can watch them as standalone films, as I keep saying. So anyway, let's go and see where I've got my ranking for this in form of picture quality. So I'll rank these from lowest picture quality to best picture quality. First up is lowest is Jason X. This looks spectacular. It does. It looks really good, but it's not as sharp as I would like it to be. I think that's just the way it was shot. There's no way they can get it sharper unless they do some AI trickery with it, which is somewhere you don't want to go down to. So I will accept the fact that this looks the way it looks. The picture quality, though, is really vibrant and it's very, very colourful as well. Just the sharpness isn't as good as it is on some of the other ones. So that's the lowest one. That's Jason X. Next up is kind of a tie between Friday the 13th and Jason Goes to Hell. I think this is the better one, but then again, some of the scenes in here look better than some of the scenes in here. So it's a kind of a bit of a tie. Although this one is more a solid one that looks good all the way through. This has got areas where it looks a bit dark, but with the HDR in it, you can kind of see a lot of the stuff. You know, if you've got like an OLED telly, you can see a lot more of the stuff than maybe if you haven't got one, just saying that. But I do like the picture quality on here. This one here is probably more solid all the way through. So the kind of, there's a bit of a swings and roundabouts, but I do consider them to be more or less neck and neck. But if I had to go with anyone, I'd say this one's a little bit better than this one. So after that, I would say is Friday the 13th, the remake. Don't forget, I've got my ticket now when I went to see it at the cinema, and it's the seat number is F13. How good is that? I love that. I love that touch. Just to put that in there and just to look at that. It used to be hidden away in the box for my Friday the 13th part, the remake, the Blu-ray that I had, the original one, which I haven't got that anymore. And this one here, I just like the fact it's in there. Anyway, so this is, for me, out of all of them, the second best looking one on 4K. I would like some of them to come out, the early ones to come out and blow me socks off. I do think that Friday the 13th Part 3 will be the less of the whole lot. Don't forget it was shot in 3D, and the way that you can get that 3D back and looking, the best it can, it's just not going to be able to do that because it was filmed in some kind of 3D camera, which that's them negatives do not lend well to being put back in the 4K spectrum. So I do think that that's going to look the least. Maybe they can't even do that in 4K, which would be a shame because it'd be bad to have one of them missing. But I do think that Friday the 13th at this point will always be the lowest. It is on DVD, Blu-ray. It's just what it is. You can't do anything about it. And I hope they don't do anything to it. I don't want to see any AI trickery on it at all. I just want it to be as good as it can be, an honest transfer. So that's the second top is Friday the 13th, 2009. And number one with a bullet is Friday the 13th Part 2. This is one of the best ever horror 4Ks for me. The picture quality on here, and I wasn't expecting it. It looks just unreal. It's one of the best ever that I've seen. I did think that when I first saw the Blu-ray that was on the box set, the Screen Factory box set, I thought this looks pretty good. It's the best it's ever looked there. I wasn't expecting the 4K to take the leap and bound that it did to look this good. So anyway, so that's my ranking of the Friday the 13th. And that's me pickups as well. So anyway, don't forget to go down and check out Sammy G's videos down below. And thanks for watching. You take care, especially you, Sam. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.